Hi, I'm Duncan from Fishhead, and today we're changing things up just a little bit. We had feedback from some of our previous videos and people wanted to see a bit more in-depth on individual rods. So we're going to go through some of our favourite rods, dropping a video hopefully each week on a rod. Today we're talking about the FCL Labo UCB-81 MH. This is the one we would call the stickbait version because there is a stiffer, more popper-oriented version. Doesn't say stickbait on the rod though, but trust us, it's more of a stickbait rod. So this rod is designed to cast up to 200 grams and is a P8 to 10 rod, and it's also rated to a maximum drag of 17 kilos, so quite hefty drag weights there on this one, but it is a physically lightweight rod, 385 grams, which definitely puts it in the lightweight end of the spectrum as far as, you know, when you're swinging them around all day long casting. So component wise, we've got all the good things you would expect off a high-end Japanese rod, so nice high density grips, the Fuji reel seat with the locking ring, Fuji MNSG guides, stainless frames and silicon rings. So that's the heavy duty frames, and same guides, those MNSGs running all the way through to the tip. So no K guides on this one, and maintains that large guide size. So the minimum guide size is about number 16. So that's your typical heavy duty GT kind of setup. So the rod action on this one, broadly when we talk about stickbait rods, there's two different kinds. There's the ones that have a faster taper at the tip and a stiffer midsection, and then there's the ones that have a much more moderate action throughout the whole rod. This one definitely falls into the spectrum of the faster taper, so it's got quite a responsive tip, but certainly a lot softer in that first quarter of the rod, and then it stiffens up a fair bit through the midsection. So this is the kind of stickbait rod that is designed to get a more technical action from lures. So as well as sweeping floating stickbaits through the water, it's really good at doing more technical actions and getting darting, diving, walk the dog actions. So yeah, for people who want to get a variety of actions out of their lures, this faster taper style is ideal. Also, the stiffer midsection means that it does cross over into the popper realms a bit more, so you can work mid-sized poppers off the rod also. Casting wise, when we were casting it, we found due to its relatively light tip, we could get down to around about 90 gram lures and still get really nice casting action out of it. And then we cast through to the big Patriot popper with, what was it? It's 170 grams plus hooks, and that runs out at about 210 grams total weight. It threw that weight quite happily, but you could feel it was definitely on its limit. You wouldn't want to go any heavier than that. So even just, yeah, knocking it back 10, 15 grams would have put it right back into its comfort zone. Okay, the first thing you notice with this rod is the lighter weight feeling at the tip. Although it's not flexing crazy amounts, the feel through the rod is that everything is much lighter and you can get a very delicate action with the stickbait, but still it's quite responsive, so you're getting a sharp action and an easy swimming action, and does quite a lot, makes it super easy working this Nature Boys stickbait. Very happy with this sort of 130-ish gram weight. All right, working the declaw bubbles on this rod, getting nice steady action, pulling a good bubble trail through the water. Good swimming action, but again, with the more moderate taper, not quite as aggressive darting action on this style of rod, but definitely easy just to swim and easy to work. Good steady S-shape action. All right, so with this big Patriot Designs popper, with the hooks on it, weighs about 210 grams. The rod max is listed at 200, and yeah, you can definitely feel it. You're sitting right on that limit of what the rod can comfortably throw. It gets it out there, but it's not loving it. And likewise, it does have just enough stiffness to get some, you know, a pop out of the popper. But with the giant cup on that popper, it's really designed for bigger, stiffer rods. So we've really found the limit on this rod. Wouldn't be the kind of lure I'd choose all day long, but certainly if it was a stick bait at weighing in at 200 grams, it'll do the job, but 200's definitely on the limit. Okay, so you can see that initial tip folds away quite quickly, the faster taper there, and then we hit that stiffer midsection. That's what helps pull the lures through the water with more authority when you switch over to poppers, or you're trying to get that really good action, technical action from your stick baits. And then we will just snug that down, go to the lift, lifting through the middle. Nice, come forwards a bit so you can see it. Yeah, lots of strength in that bottom half of the rod. Okay, so to summarise this FCL rod, the UCB-81 MH, the rod, the first thing you notice, it's physically light, so very easy to hang on to all day long. It's got a light swing weight, and by that I mean when you swing the rod through the air for working lures or even for casting, there's not a lot of weight at the tip end, so it makes it very easy on the angler trying to just work lures for long sessions. Also, the responsive carbon makes it very easy to do technical retrieves. So if you want something that can make lures dart, dive, walk the dog, twitch them really hard, and still sweep stick baits, this is the kind of rod which is going to suit you down to the ground. But while it is a very versatile rod, it's still a stick bait rod. So certainly more suited to the sticks than the poppers, but again, it has some definite crossovers, so you can get a fair bit of use out of different lures on there. The power on this rod is what I would call about the middle range for a PE10 rated rod. So for this, I would say I'm quite happy to run PE8 or PE10 line across it. It's not the true monster stopper end of the PE10 range, but definitely at the comfortable all day part of the PE10 range. This is the kind of rod that you could use for a crossover of a bunch of locations. So you can take it to places where you're expecting to see a lot of mid-sized GTs, like that 10 to 20 kilo range, but still I would have it in the kit when I'm going to locations where there's much, much bigger fish as well. So definitely a rod that can go anywhere really. Where its limitations lie would be the really big stick baits. It casts the 210 gram weight, not too bad, but I would say, yeah, that full weight of 210 grams is definitely right at the top end. So that means lures around that 160, 170 grams plus hooks is probably where its top end limit lies. If you're looking for a rod for 180, 200 gram plus kind of stick baits, then this is not really the ideal rod for the job. Likewise for poppers, it'll pull 120, 130, even 140 gram poppers through the water really nicely. But if you're looking for something to rip big cup faces through the water, this is not it. It's still definitely more oriented towards the stick baits. All right, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week with another rod review.